Welcome to this program. I would like to read to our audience a short biography of Don Young. Don Young is a multi-award-winning actress, filmmaker, producer, writer, and narrator based in New York City. Welcome to New York. You can hear my siren behind me.
Exactly.
She has had lead guest star and co-star roles on television for HBO, NBC, TBS, ABC. Dawn created award-winning documentary films on the subject of Alzheimer's disease and water polo, and now she enjoys working full-time on film and TV works. She is excited about her recent roles in the feature film 2019 SXSW winner, The Garden Left Behind, directed by Flavio Alves, and the comic series written by Nikki Coble, both of which continues to win awards at numerous film festivals, both nationally and internationally. While in quarantine, the concentration is on voiceover work, resulting in both radio and television spots booked and recorded in her home studio. Welcome. And this information is going to be in the YouTube description below with many of Dang Yang's info, such as website, IMDb, website, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Vimeo links. So please check it out. So welcome. And
Ching,
Dawn,
Ching, I hope you don't mind. I'm just going to
Yeah.
tell you the pronunciation of those directors' names.
oh, tell me, please.
Flavio Alves is the director
Alves.
and the co-writer of The Garden Left Behind, which is now streaming on Amazon Prime and has won numerous awards. And then the writer and creator of the whole Awkwardly series, comedic series, web series, is Nikki Coble.
Nikki Coble.
And they are both amazing directors and writers.
Not Coble. Thank you. I always have challenge to pronounce people's name correctly. So thank you. Now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us a little bit about your upbringing. Like, where were you born and how did you become an actress?
Okay. Well, I was born in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and I lived on a farm for the first 18 years of my life before I left to go to college. And it was a working farm. We had thousands of chickens and a bull and goats and dogs and cats. We had a huge vegetable garden and all kinds of trees, fruit trees. So there was a lot of canning and preserving and everything you do with a working farm. And my father didn't have any paid workers, so my two sisters and I were his assistants, and we worked on the farm. And then I went to college. My parents were always insisting that we should have a fallback job. So I got my teaching degree, elementary education teaching and French teaching. And I lived in France for my junior year abroad, which was amazing. I feel like I really grew up that year living alone in France and not speaking, well, I had studied in college, but it's one thing to study in college and another thing to be thrown in France in a dorm with all French-speaking people. And so for 2 months, it was very intense, and I had a headache every night from thinking so hard. But all the other people in our group sort of hung together and spoke English and didn't even, so I just said, no offense, guys, but I'm not going to hang out with you guys because I want to learn French. So both my friend and my best friend and my boyfriend at the time were French. And so I only spoke French and I became fluent. And so that was going to be my career. And then when I moved to New York, I taught at the university level at Temple University while I got my master's there. And I taught in high school and junior high in New York City Public Junior High, which was a real trip. And then I just said, okay, I've had enough of this and I want to do what I really want to do. And I started taking acting as a serious career.
Wow.
So that's how I got into it.
What a journey.
Convoluted journey to get there, but
yeah. So now from you wear many hats. You're actress and you're voiceover actor, and you also produce write documentaries, and you know your documentaries were award winning. So tell us some of your documentaries you produced and you wrote and you produced. Yeah, you directed.
Well, the first one that they were both personal events that occurred that made me feel compelled to document it. And the first one was my son had this dream to be on the U.S. Olympic water polo team. And so it was against the odds because it's a California-dominated sport, and no one has ever made the Olympics from the East Coast, and it was all California players all the time. And so that was against him. His high school Bronx Science didn't even have a swimming pool, so that was another thing. And then he had a really bad back. So that was another factor. And we supported him, but we were seriously thinking, oh boy, he's just going to be so disappointed. But through perseverance and practice and persistence, and especially passion for the sport, 10 years later, he made it. He just kept at it. He found any place he could to play. And long story short, he made the Olympic team, and he became captain of the team even, and went on to like 3 Olympics as a player and 3 Olympics as the NBC color commentator for the sport. So that was it was his journey against the odds to make the team. It also gave me a great opportunity to spend time with him. You know, traveling like 8 different countries in the world and all over the place, and shooting and interviewing coaches and players, and so that was a way to be with him.
That's a lot of work.
You know, I got to say it really wasn't so much, because we were in the city, and his high school years, he went down to the New York Athletic Club. It was the only place in the whole city where he found that he could play water polo, but it was with men like adults. And he was 14. He just showed up on the deck and said, hey, can I practice with you? And they kind of like wink and went, nudge, nudge, you know, sure, kid, we get everybody a shot. But when they saw him in the water, they said, all right, you don't have to join the club. Just come in the back door. You don't have to wear the suit and tie that they have to wear when they come in the front. Just come in the back. Every Tuesday, Thursday, we have practice. And you don't have to join. It's real expensive to join. So he did that. He never missed one Tuesday, Thursday, his whole high school years. And so he did that. He got himself down there and got back. And, you know, it wasn't the type thing in the suburbs where you have to drive your kids everywhere. So that was great. And then he got a full scholarship to Stanford, and he went out to California, age 18, and that was it. Never came back to New York because California is water polo land, you know. And so he went to Stanford, and then he didn't have to be driven around anywhere. So he really did it all himself. It wasn't like we were like shoving and pushing and, you know.
Can we see the trailer of that film?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go in here.
It's if you go to the website, you'll see the first page of the website's kind of cool, and then if you scroll down, you can find the trailer.
Very good.
That's the Stanford coach.
That's the trailer, right?
Wolf asked if I minded if he would stop playing the violin. He had decided to dedicate his time and energy to water polo.
I was very interested in water polo when I was about 10. I'd been going to some all-sports program at the New York Athletic Club
called Saturday Morning Boys. I'd already been swimming for a while, so I picked it up pretty easily. It was a lot of fun.
Once at a party, when he was about 2, he leaped in a pool and started sinking. Seconds later, I jumped in, and at the bottom, we looked at each other. I can still remember this big smile on his face with bubbles coming out of his mouth. I've been watching my son Wolf play water polo for 18 years. When Wolf first revealed that he wanted to be an Olympic water polo player, I was concerned. I knew it would be especially complicated for him coming from New York, since no player from the East had made the team since 1956.
I arrived in California, I found out the team had already been picked. The coach had no confidence in the player from the East Coast.
Forget it. Get on with your life and get into a sport, or get into some other activity where they're not going to treat you this way. But he didn't do it.
The word of mouth in U.S. water polo is very quick. And when a good player comes along, everybody wants to see that player play.
He was the best player on the East Coast, and he'd been playing for the New York AC, and he was a good student, and he was possibly interested in Stanford.
At Stanford, it's really hard to stuff. We have a tough program here. When I met him, he was pretty quiet. When I saw him in the water, we knew that we had a diamond.
Once our practice, we'll either lift weights first or afterwards. So a day that we lift weights first, we either go to 24-hour fitness lift, or we'll actually lift weights on the pool deck. Night practices, usually maybe 1 hour of conditioning, it's not quite as much.
Yeah, I've broken my eardrum about 3 times.
50 stitches between this eyebrow and this eyebrow.
Did you go through your lip?
I don't know.
Players are forced to make tough choices about money. Some create their own water polo-related businesses. Others design websites for their sport. Wolf found a job that had hours that fit with the team's training schedule.
He's not the biggest guy I've had. He's not the fastest guy I've had. He doesn't shoot the ball any harder than, but he has this desire, a great desire to win.
Look at this. Easy goal. Easy goal by Barnhart on the counterattack. Why go? Why go with the ball? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. What a flurry of shots right there.
One day I was shooting after practice, and my shot was feeling great. I felt like I was throwing the ball harder than ever. After that practice, my back just really started bothering me.
Yes, Wolf Weigel is our leading scorer, and he's been out of the water for 2 weeks with a bad back.
During this important game, 4-time Olympian and chiropractor Terry Schroeder worked on Wolf's back on the pool deck to get him in the game and bring a win for Stanford within reach.
He may play a little tonight, but he's not at 100%, and he hasn't played at all for 2 weeks.
5 seconds. I knew that Wolf wanted to continue playing, but he had his whole life ahead of him. And we were all concerned that he may further damage his back by continuing to play at such a high level of competition.
Yeah, that's the trailer. And then the film, obviously, we go to all the Olympics and the whole bit. So, yeah, they say to leave you wanting to know more about it, So that's why I didn't put that part in the trailer. So that's what got me into making documentary films. And the other documentary subject, the Alzheimer's, was also a personal choice because my grandmother and my mother both were Alzheimer's patients and actually, passed away from complications of Alzheimer's. And it was just such a kind of hard time and dealing with it. And as a caregiver, I just learned so much about it. And I decided to make a documentary to share knowledge and different things that worked or didn't work in speaking and dealing with Alzheimer's patients. And so I would go, to my mother's nursing home, and John, my husband, John Pousette-Dart, who's a singer and guitar player, he would come with me and we would sing with them. And when we walk in, they looked like they were just almost dead sitting in their chairs. But we started playing and singing, and they gradually walked into the room. And by the end, they were clapping and singing and even dancing. And one of the guys jumped up and got on an organ and actually played. It was amazing how they came alive with the music. And so one of the 2 documentaries I made about it showed how music positively affects the lives of Alzheimer's victims. And the other one was a music video of a song that I wrote along with John called Who I Am, like she doesn't know who I am. And so that's a music video, and I didn't give you that clip. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
But it's available.
Yeah.
And it's sweet. It got into a lot of festivals, won a lot of awards as well. Both of them did. I think it was 40 awards and festivals for the water polo one, and quite a few, maybe 30 festivals and awards for the Alzheimer's. So, and then I just said, okay, enough with the documentary. It took me away from acting for 15 years because I was doing that, and not to mention even just being a mom for a long time until the kids left the house. I wasn't able to concentrate on my acting either. So now they're out of the house. I'm not doing documentaries anymore unless something really, really grabs me. I'm just concentrating on doing film and television work.
Speaking of documentary, when you were making the documentary, the water polo, for your son, following him around, did you had a plan, knowing that you wanted to make a award-winning show in the end, or
No,
I
didn't. I was like a mom in the stands shooting with my camera because I was into shooting things, photography and shooting. Yeah. And it would also distract me so I wouldn't get so nervous about the roughness of it. It's a pretty tough sport. One time he disappeared underwater for a long time. Yeah. And 2 guys had got him down, and he came up, he was bleeding, and they just threw him on the deck and kept playing. It was like, ah! So anyway, so I started to follow him in the water with my camera, follow the ball, and just distract myself that way. But I didn't intend to make the film. And then I was talking to some women at the New York Women in Film and Television and telling them about my son's journey. And they were like, oh my God, that sounds so exciting. You should make a film about it. And a light bulb went off, and I said, okay, I'm going to. So that's how that started. Yeah. But I didn't have an intention to do that.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
In fact, there was a period of time when he understandably was concerned about mom doing a documentary about him. But that was the time when he was trying really hard to make the team. And he just didn't want, he didn't want any kind of anything to deter, his efforts. Yeah. And so we made a deal. I said, okay, how about if I just stop shooting? I won't shoot it all until we find out if you make the team or not. And if you make the team, it's on. And if you don't make it, I won't document your failure, And he said, okay, that sounds good. But then he made the team, so I got to do it.
Yeah. The exciting thing about documentary is you don't really know where it's going to lead to. Sometimes the story is not like written down. You have no control of the directions.
Right.
So there's a certain suspensefulness, and then also surprises, and also sometimes tragedy maybe, or sometimes
things happen and change.
Yeah.
Changes the trajectory of the story.
You want to talk about the garden left behind?
The garden left behind? Yeah. I'll talk about it. It's streaming on Amazon Prime right now. Right. And just recently it got international distribution through Juhl Media UK, and it's starting to be seen in Europe, which is fantastic. And thank you. It's very exciting, and it's a story about a trans woman who comes to New York City with her grandmother. She wants to go through the transition, and her grandmother doesn't know anything about that. Of course, she still calls her Antonio, but she really doesn't go by that name. She goes by Tina. But you're walking in her shoes in this film. And you just see how very difficult it is, the life of a trans person, and they're illegal immigrants on top of that. So it touches on a lot of very difficult ways of life for these people in the transgender community. And you end up really caring about it because it's so well done. Flavio Alves and John Rotunda wrote it, and they just did a very eloquent and subtle, it's not, but it's realistic, which is not to say that it's a honky-dory, happy story. It's not at all. It's what really happens to a large majority of trans people.
Right.
But when it happens, you're very upset because you care so much about her and you've traveled her journey with her.
Right.
And I play her speech pathologist, which is one of the few nice people to her in her life, happily. But and there are, some big names in it. Michael Madsen's in it. Ed Asner's in it. Danny Flaherty. I think they're all pretty well known. And the rest are all authentic trans people. All of them. There's like about 50 trans people involved, both in front of and behind the scenes in this.
That's amazing.
This film. Oh, Flavio made point of that because he really wanted to use them, and he wanted it to be very authentic, which it is.
That's amazing. So let's play the trailer.
Okay, I'm in the first 17 seconds.
Yeah, awesome.
The purpose of this exercise is to relax your mind, to guide you to create your own peaceful, safe place. Continue to breathe slowly, gently.
Why are you here, Tina? Are you happy? Everyone's life is complicated.
It is time to retake our seats at the table of society. It is time that we take to the street and demand our rights.
Are there issues in your life that might complicate the transition process?
Get yourself some therapy, or whatever body part you want.
Antonio no me dice nada.
You look so nervous. Don't worry. You'll be fine.
No sé por qué quiere hacerlo.
Why can't you see me? I see you. And you're beautiful. I don't even know why I'm doing this.
Hey, baby girl, you need a ride? Let me take care of you.
I'm able to confirm that you have gender dysphoria. You may seek treatment.
Yay. Yes, so such a well done trailer. And I saw the film and it was like, it's a different world. I do not personally experience these kind of trauma or stories or people even in my life. So it's a very powerful, very haunting story.
Yeah, it is. And, I've become friends with a few of the women and we're in touch and I'm following them and supporting them in their journey. Yeah.
Yeah. Are these, is the film mainly shoot like in New York or different places?
Mainly in New York.
Yeah. Yeah. So these actors, these actors and these trans actors, they are from New York.
Basically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how does one?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure exactly where they all came from, but the leads I think are. And
yeah. So how does a film? Does a film after the film done to apply for festival first or to apply for Amazon first? How does that relationship?
Oh, the festivals first. We did 75 film festivals and got very many awards. South by Southwest. That was another thing I wanted to tell you. South by Southwest is the SXSW, the South by Southwest Film Festival.
Okay.
And
that's a major.
That was our first one, and a major top 5, and we got the audience award there. So that was a real big boost, knowing that, wow, that's pretty important. Mm-hmm. And it went on to keep winning awards here and there and everywhere. And then finally, Flavio and Roy Wall, the producer, did a lot of work, getting in front of people.
Yeah.
And they did a super job of getting all those little levels of success that it has.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. Wonderful. So now, in terms of being an actor in pandemic, do you find the work is slowed much more these days? How does the audition process and getting role going?
Well, the things I've been cast in 3 films, but that was like a year ago, and they just kept being put back. It was going to be summer, then it was going to be fall, then it was going to be winter, and then it was going to be. So the production kept being pushed back. Mm-hmm. However, the auditions are still going on in Zoom meetings, and it's okay because there are good things about it. You can meet people online like this and do auditions for them, and a lot of self-taping for roles. You'll do it on your own and then send in a link. And for those, you can do it as many times as you want to get a nice one. We usually only do 1 or 2 or 3. I'd like to do more, but my husband's, he's on the machine. He's like, okay, I think we got it. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
You don't want to ask too many favors. but I guess some people have it all set up that they can just work on it all day long if they want. But I haven't really done that. But
speaking of your husband, what is your secret of successful marriage? Oh, you don't want to talk about it?
No, I just think, kind of easy does it. You can't get too crazy about things. You have to let each person do their thing and support them and help them if you can. And sometimes for a long time, we 3 years ago, we bought a house up in Garrison, New York. And I was going into the city during the week for auditions and everything that I needed to do. And then I would come out to the other house for half the time. And that was kind of cool because I would be really looking forward to actually seeing him and being with him. So the absence was making the heart grow fonder, as they say.
Yes.
And I think it's good sometimes to not be all over. And that's horrible to say right now because we're all over each other all the time now, everybody in the same house. But I'm saying in non-pandemic times, it's good to, have some time apart as well as time together.
Yeah.
And we never stop each other. Like when he goes on the road, I don't call him 10 times. Oh, where are you now? What's going on? I just let him go. And he lets me go do my thing. We keep each other on long leashes. Maybe that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's wonderful. So,
anyway, another thing we've been doing, which has been a lot of fun, we've been we have the music studio downstairs because he produces his own music. And it's a great thing because he has really good mics and equipment, and I can do my voiceovers there, auditions, and actually jobs because we have Source Connect, which is a way that you can deliver the final product, actually, if you book the job.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say that we've been doing some singing together, which has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Am I frozen? I wanted to show a song you did together.
Show the C'est Bon.
C'est Bon. Yeah. So, in case our audience missed it, our introduction of you, your first career, actually, you are a French teacher. So tell us one more time,
about teaching,
about you speak French fluently.
Oh yeah. Well, I majored in it in undergraduate and graduate school. I got my master's in it. And when I got my master's, I actually taught for 2 years at Temple University on the university level. And then I taught high school for 1 year. And then I taught for about 10 years, I taught junior high in Manhattan, which was in a public school. And it was very hectic, but I did it. I actually taught my daughter for 2 years because she was at that public school, and which went really well. Everyone said, "Oh, how did that go?" But it did. It went fine. The kids really respected me because they liked her, and they were, So it was successful because all the people in the class had a good relationship with her, and I was her mother, so they were polite to me.
Yeah, that's
and.
nice.
And that was those classes. Then there were the other ones. But we won't even get into that. But finally, I had enough. I was almost going insane.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And I said, all right, now it's time to do something for me. So
okay, so let's hear this song. It's very short, 1 minute 35 seconds. John Pussadar is on the guitar, and he's a singer songwriter, very accomplished musician. I think he has produced, I don't know, more than how many CDs? Many. Maybe 20? Something like that. Here we go. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna do it from beginning. It was like a little delay. Yeah, sorry.
C'est bon de partir n'importe où, bras dessus, bras dessous, en chantant des chansons. C'est si bon de se dire des mots doux, de petits rien de tout, mais qui en disent long en voyant notre mine ravie. Les passants dans la rue nous envient, c'est si bon de guetter dans ses yeux un espoir merveilleux qui donne le frisson, c'est si bon. Les petites sensations, ça vaut mieux qu'un million. C'est tellement, tellement bon. Voilà, c'est bon. Les passants dans la rue, bras dessus, bras dessous, en chantant des chansons. Quel espoir merveilleux. C'est bon.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I always love French. That's the one language I want to learn, but I have not learned yet. So
you speak Chinese and English?
Yes, I speak Chinese. I speak Chinese Mandarin, and also in China, many provinces or cities has their own dialect. So I speak Shanghai dialect. Yeah, Shanghai has its own dialect. So yeah, wonderful. So have you lived in France?
Yes, I did my junior year abroad. Which was kind of back in the day. We didn't travel by plane to get there. We were on an ocean liner, the SS United States.
Yeah.
It was a 6-day crossing of the Atlantic Ocean, which was retro. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you'll never guess who was on the same crossing going for his junior year abroad.
Yeah.
Bill Clinton. So he was on that same ship.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. So our group and their group kind of all got together, and I met him, but I didn't get together with him. I got together with another guy. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was like really fun.
Yeah.
It was a fun way to get there. But then I was in Montpellier in the south of France.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked about it a little bit in the beginning, how, just total immersion, learning the language, didn't hang out with English-speaking people at all because I really wanted to learn.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up, in the year I was there, I became, fluent and very comfortable speaking French.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually more comfortable speaking French, like as far as like having confidence in expressing myself. I guess it's because it's the year I kind of grew up. And it's very curious, but I find that when I speak French in a group or to people, I'm more confident than when I speak English.
Wow, interesting.
I know, it's just, and even if I don't know a word or something, it doesn't, I'll just say, what's that word? Whatever, or I pick another word, almost this, but it goes really well. But it's kind of a psychological thing, not a skill thing necessarily, but.
Does speaking French lend you some roles of needing speak French, like acting?
Yes, actually, I booked Ted Turner had he did a soap. He wanted to do everything, and so he created a soap in Atlanta, and I got cast in a 2-year contract role in Atlanta. I was going back every other week to Atlanta to shoot, and it was a 2-year contract, and I got it because when I went into the audition, I auditioned in English first, and then they were looking at the resume, and you know how they look at it and they go, oh, she says she's fluent in French, all right, so now do it with a French accent. So I did it with a French accent, and it got better, and then they said, all right, now I want you to do it in French. You just translate it, on the spot in French, and the person will be talking back to you in English, but you say everything in French. And I was like, yes, because I knew that it was a good thing. And it got really, really good. And I booked it because of that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to thank our audience. One of them is Neil Davidson. I think maybe it says Don did the videographer on John's latest video, Victor.
Oh, yes.
What is that?
Oh, thanks for being here. Yes, John, my husband, just posted on YouTube a brand new cut of a brand new song that he, wrote and sang and performed. And it's called Victrola. And you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Look at his channel, John Poussette Dart.
Yeah.
And you can search John Poussette Dart and then look for Victrola. And there are a bunch of nice, beautiful songs there. He's really amazing. Yeah. He's had 5 albums with Capitol Records, and it's all he's ever done, and that's his thing.
Yeah, yeah. Can you spell Poussette Dart for me? Make sure I spell right. P-O-U-S. Yeah, O-U-S-E-T-T-E dash capital D-A-R-T.
D-A-R-T,
right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you. So, could we touch base about another project you're in? It's the comics web series. It's created by...
the comedic web series. It's called Awkwardly. And it's a series of 20 little short, about 5 to 7 minute little short films. And Nikki Coble created the whole thing, and she's a genius. She's a great writer, great actress, and all that. And so that's it. And there are little fun little scenes. And my one is if you're going to show it, I won't.
Should we watch this? Is this a trailer or something?
Yeah, it's just it's not even the whole. It's a short clip.
Okay.
It's a clip.
Okay, it's a clip. Okay, great. Awkwardly. That's kind of interesting, huh? Using a adverb as a, isn't that
right? Each story is an awkward situation that happens.
Adverb as a film name. You would never think about that.
20 awkward situations.
Beautiful. Okay, here we go. Do we have it? Yeah, we do. Okay, so let me.
Well, as you know, mental reduces inhibitions.
Clementine?
Lydia.
The fruit, I mean. Did she hurt anyone?
No, no one was injured, just shocked.
Okay.
We're used to drama where she's concerned, but it seems that we're not catching on.
Of course, I apologize. These things are just so delicate. Your mother thinks she's a performer now of burlesque.
How's that?
This morning at breakfast, she was humming and twirling and dancing in the cafeteria, topless.
My mother's a Methodist.
I'm sorry, Alan. This must be so tough for you to hear. Dementia drastically alters the personality.
God, I hope so. She just wakes up and
Appreciates your cooking.
approves of your career.
Calls me her favorite.
Oh, and she knits those little pasties now. Woo!
Perhaps I should give you a moment.
Oh, no, that's just, no, we're sorry.
Yeah, please excuse us.
I need to make a call anyway.
Is she calling elder services on us?
Hi, honey, it's Mom. Can you call me? If I've been prickly with you.
Yeah. So it's very funny. Now,
I'll just
what
say
is
one
a
thing.
web series? Tell me. What is a web series? Oh,
Well, they stream online on the web, and
yeah. Wait.
Oh, that's just going on to my reel.
Yeah.
That's another comedic moment. Climbing into a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Which was, as you can imagine, with a tight skirt, was kind of funny. Oh, sadly, the woman in my scene passed away this year. Her name is Rose Padone Maloney, and she was a great, beloved actor, in our community, and she just passed away, this year. So I was glad to have worked with her. It was her last project, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's sad. Not because COVID, huh?
No.
Okay.
No, not because of COVID.
Yeah. So you were talking about web series. Like, what is a web series? Like, people put in where? Like, where do you watch web series?
Well, you can watch them on the web, on the online.
Online.
But
Like
they
what?
have festivals and everything, just like films.
Okay.
It also went to many, both domestic and international film festivals, and she's won a lot of awards as well.
Oh.
I mean, it was huge in of all places, Korea, and places that you wouldn't expect. Italy. I think the Philippines, different places.
Yeah.
But I guess humor is humor,
Right. So where can people watch this right now?
I guess you can just watch online.
On YouTube?
You can find it on YouTube, probably.
I see.
For sure online somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so tell us a little bit about your next. Do you have? I want to know your voiceover as a career. When I was younger, I never even know this word voiceover. I mean,
Right.
Well, in China, actually, there's a voiceover that. Yeah, I take it back. Chinese actors, they voice over all the foreign films. Like all the Western films go to China, but they all double it into Chinese. So, but other than that, I did not know voiceover is a career, as a. So tell me a little bit about what.
Well, there's a lot of it in commercials. You see the commercial, and the voice is saying, for example, all the disease, take this product, and then while the people are frolicking and all these beautiful visuals are happening, attracting everyone away from the voiceover saying, and you can get lose your hearing, and that would be the voiceover. Or they would just say, John Smith is having a great time, and then showing, it's like, that's what it is. And it's in film. You saw it in my trailers for the water polo trailer. There was a lot of voiceover going on in that. And yeah. So
Yeah.
we can use it in film,
So
TV, shows have it, and commercials.
do you need a very insulated space to do voiceover, or can you get away in John's studio setting? Because I know some voiceover actors have to build a little closet for them.
Yeah. Oh, well, there's all kinds of degrees of successfully doing it. Some people literally go into their closet, their clothes closet, and and it's very, or bathroom or somewhere. And I just do it in the open studio. There's kind of a little bit of a shield there, and we have all kinds of stuff all over the ceiling and walls. He has it for the music as well. So, but it's not a booth. It's not a booth where you go in and lock the door. Like when you audition, you go in, or you go into a booth and this big door locks and there's no sound coming in. You have to turn off the air conditioner or anything else you have going on, and you can't have any animals yelping or kids screaming, or you really have to have a quiet situation. But you can, even without going to great expense, you can create something that blocks out the sound. And I know a lot of voiceover artists who successfully book things and they audition in their clothes closet or just strange places.
Yeah. So what is your current project or next project?
Well, I'm not going to speak too much about it because some people think it's like bad luck to talk about some project coming up, but I'll just say that I have 3 films that I've been cast in and I'm waiting to do them. But in the meantime, until they start, I'm using this time to, get my website together and reels and photos and all the tools that an actor needs, getting the resume up to date, your demo reel up to date pictures, the various websites like IMDb, where you keep all your things that you've done, your credits.
Yeah.
And get everything up to date. And
in terms of IMDb, I'm kind of not very good at those things, keeping up stuff. So IMDb is a website for what's it? Database movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, movie.
It's for film and television.
Yeah. So who goes there to update it? For instance, if
you go yourself, you have to do it yourself.
I
mean, unless you have an agent or somebody who does it for you, but I've always just done it myself.
Okay. So for instance, I made other films before. I did not put it in. Can I add it in now? Do these films
Yes, you can add it in later. I just went in and added that primetime and daytime show that I did in Atlanta, but I did it long ago, and I just went in and finally said, oh, I should put that on IMDb, and I did. And I found that a lot of other actors had already done it a long time ago, but I just didn't think of it because it was so long ago. And I keep thinking of things that I did, and then I say, do I have anything that I could actually put on there? And I find it. Oh, that's another thing I've been doing is looking back at old footage and like commercials that I've done. I felt like making a little reel of all the national network commercials I've ever done, and not just for the fun of it, really.
I see. Yeah. Okay. So it's like that. You have to be verified. A film says, for instance, my film got into a socially relevant film festival in 2017, and I did not add on to my IMDb. So, but if I go add it on, no one is gonna say, like it's up to me, right? It's not like no one is monitoring, like.
No, they do. They check it out. They have to verify it and accept it and make sure that it's legit. and then they'll put it on. You submit it to them, and then they accept it or don't accept it, or
I see.
no, it is monitored. It's not like, what is that thing where you can, Wikipedia, where you can just, I think that when people just could put anything on, and you can write your own story.
I don't think a Wikipedia you can put anything on. I don't know.
Oh, really? I didn't know. I never went on it. I never made a Wikipedia.
I think a Wikipedia is something like you cannot write your own Wikipedia. Somebody has to write for you.
Oh, really? I thought it was the opposite. I don't know. Like I said, I never.
And then everything you say, many things you say has to verify it, like has backup, like a footnotes, has to have footnotes of whatever you said, what you did. So actually,
I learned something then about, because I know nothing about Wikipedia.
And somebody actually used my photos in his Wikipedia, my photo, my video, and I have to fill out a bunch of forms to let them use it. It was cheating.
Oh, I see. So they do really. They really do check it.
Yeah, they do. And then, but it's for many people can go on there to actually add things. In other words, it's like once you are on Wikipedia, right? You are a public person, so other people can add things on to you, not necessarily complimentary things either. So, yes, so they can actually dig dirt on you and then write something if it's true, and will stay there. So you have to be careful, Wikipedia. Yeah. So I
think I'll stay away from Wikipedia.
I don't know. I see some bad publicity, So thank you so much, John, for talking with me, and thank you for sharing your wisdom and your knowledge, your work with us, and and keep up the great work, and I hope to see you sometime soon when this whole madness is over.
Oh, it would be nice to be able to see people and hug people.
Yeah.
Touch people.
I know. Yeah. Hug. So, well, stay safe and say hello to John for me, and and best luck of everything you're doing or you will do, and thank you again. And I'm going to watch your mini series or other things I haven't watched.
Thank you, Ching.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank you.
And good luck to you too.
Thank you. Thank you. So I want to say thank you to our audience.